Imagine a place where you can unwind and relax. IKEA can help you turn your bedroom into a calm oasis. From comfy mattresses to the perfect lights, we've got everything to create your dream bedroom so you can sleep like a baby. And the best part? All at incredible prices. Head to IKEA and grab everything you need. Get ready to rest, dream, and wake up feeling refreshed. Shop today at your local store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep-es and get it delivered straight to your door with our convenient delivery services.
I get what you're saying. Like when you ever see those body transformation videos
Just
and
a
all
little,
those things.
just fix my dip a little bit. Like, that ain't too crazy. And I think I feel that way because of social media.
I agree.
Because then I'll have that conversation with my boyfriend. He's like, you're insane. You like have body dysmorphia. Hi, I'm Crystal Vega.
Hey, I'm Amanda Booz,
And this is Elevators Podcast, where we talk about the peaks and valleys of life's journey, from relationships to entrepreneurships, friendships, you name it, we're talking about it, and even give you a taste of the sizzling social media hot topics of the day, all through the lens of modern womanhood. And we are
That's
back.
right. We are back like we never left. You know, we love.
Because we haven't left for a whole year. Consistency, okay?
Yeah, you know, that's the name of the game. That's one of my words for this year. I told you, consistency and discipline. Do you have words of the year? Or like themes of the year?
Self-discipline for me.
Okay, so we both aligned on that discipline.
And being organized.
Ooh, I
Super
love that.
important for me.
That's very important. It's hard sometimes, but you know what? I think it's about just, even if you fall off for a second, just getting right back to where you started.
Yes, I agree. But also not letting yourself fall off for too long, if at all. Because I feel like that's the whole point of being disciplined. It's like not letting yourself fall off.
And that's
right?
even when you're traveling, when you're going out, when you're doing all the things that you're not doing when you're at home. You got to stay
steady.
consistent.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to the gym.
That's not the reason why you don't go to the gym. I have been trying to get this girl to go to the gym with me, and you were on it. You were on it.
I know.
And even if you don't go with me, go with Will.
Oh my God, you finna make me cry. No, I said I was gonna go.
You
but
said you were
I
going
am
to
a
Orange Theory, Pilates. You just did aerial yoga last week, so I'll give you that. That was also, by the way, or 2 weeks ago maybe. Whenever this comes out, we did aerial yoga. It was such a workout, but girl, I had bruises.
It
Did
was
you
so
have
much
any
fun.
bruises? It was a lot of fun.
If you guys have not done aerial yoga, please do it. It's so much fun, especially if you like do it in a group the way we did. We had like a private class. It was so much fun to watch everybody try and success, but also try and fail. It was just a great class. It was a great group activity to do for women. But I agree with you. Wear long clothes, cover your body, because those ropes or silks, whatever, they kind of hurt. Yeah.
Those ropes were trying to fight. So you know what? I was thinking about what we should talk about today for our show. And I have really been just thinking like we should talk about social media and its effects on self-image, you know what I mean? And just like, you know, body positivity, and then, you know, even body dysmorphia, and just the different things that I feel like it creates, but then also like just holding on to having that elevated social media presence that we all strive to have, and not lose ourselves in the process, because social media can be draining sometimes, and it could really make you like look at yourself and lose confidence almost.
I love this topic because I feel like even though people listen to our podcast to hear advice and to get motivated and to get inspired, this to me is very much still a work in progress. Not because I compare myself intentionally, but the reality is you internalize a lot of things that you consume. And sometimes I try to make that a very positive thing, but it's not all the time that it works. So I actually love talking about this because as social media continues to become like very relevant in our everyday lives, I know there are so many other people who deal with this and who feel like they're constantly fighting the fight of social media, comparing yourself, self-image, and all that good stuff. So I love this. Good idea.
Same. And I think it's also like, it's self-sabotaging. Like when you look at social media in the sense you think it's reality, because it is reality to an extent. Like, you've heard it before. It's a highlight reel. People put out what they want to put out. Somebody may be showing this, but the lifestyle that they're living is totally somewhat opposite. But I think it's so important as we are consumers of social media, but also people who work in the social media space, that we kind of like separate the reality versus, you know, what people want you to believe is the reality, if that makes any sense. Like, just taking it in doses is what I'm basically also trying to say. Like, I think that, you know, too much of anything isn't good. I think if you're overindulging and if you're overly consuming social media, you know, for you, it may be a reality, but to some, it's just like, you know, it's just like something that I do in just past time when I'm like, I have a break. You know what I mean? It's not something that I'm consuming, and it's what I'm believing is real life.
I'm not going to lie, in full transparency, like, I agree with you. I think because we work in social media, we have a great understanding of how to separate the two, and like how people use social media to pretend like they're there, but to also get where they're going, which, hey, no shade, OT, do what you got to do, baby, fake it till you make it. But for me, because I know that, when I do see somebody who is doing something of the sort that I kind of like admire, I be like, and I know it's the truth, I'm like, damn, I could do that, or like, I want that. Like, I still have those thoughts, and I feel like that is self-deprecating, like you said, in a sense. Like, over time, having those thoughts little by little makes you feel like, oh, why not me? And I think that that's something that I'm still like trying to deal with little by little. But I have also, little by little, have learned to tell myself, like, you know what, if I admire this situation or whatever it may be, let me figure out how to go get it myself. Yeah. So, like, that's how I turn something negative into a positive, because I feel like regardless of how we want to flip the pancake, looking at anybody's life and being like, I want that, can have a negative impact on you.
I totally agree. And I think that I love that you said that, because I feel like if we see someone else do it, especially like a Black woman or a woman of color that's doing something that we aspire to be, it just shows us that we can also do those things. And I think there's a very thin line and a difference between admiration and almost like jealousy to an extent. And I don't know if that's like the right word I'm looking for, but more or less like you admire this person, but then it's like, oh, I wish it was me. And I think that there has to be like a baby that the two make, and that I don't know what that would be or what that would look like, but there's like a thin line between the two. Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't even know what it would be called, but I agree with you. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like, there has to be some sort of in between of like you admire this situation, but you're kind of like giving them kudos and not saying like, I wish it was me, because the I wish it was me is where the sort of like jealousy kind of comes in. Yeah,
and I also think sometimes we have to realize, as we are consuming content, celebrating people on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is that you are when it relates to social media, that sometimes things are seasonal too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there are people who are in their season. You may not be in your current season that you would like to be in, or you may and not even realize it. But I think that in that we should celebrate people as they are in the fruits of their season.
Yeah, I'm definitely in a season right now, a low season. In terms of social media, I'm in a low season. Before we started filming, I was like, I gotta get back on it. Like, really? Yes, I feel like, first of all, I've left my social media community, especially TikTok. Y'all, I'm coming back, girls. I'm coming back for us with the outfits, I swear. But I've just been so busy. But because of that, even like that for me, sometimes I'm like, I'll look at like an Alex Earl or Monet McMichael and be like, dang, they so consistent, you know? And like, I admire it, but I have to, but again, it could be a little self-deprecating, because then I'm like, I have these thoughts to myself, like, why can't you be consistent, Crystal? Why aren't you on it? Like, and that's just the reality of it. Like, that's what it does for me when I see, and not like, oh, I don't like them because they're doing great. More so like holding myself accountable, like, and this is why you need to do better. Yeah. But those negative thoughts,
they become things. But you know what I will say? I am very proud of us, and I'm always going to try to give us our flowers and our grace when we deserve to hear it, because I think a lot of us need to realize, especially if we're in our 30-somethings, that a lot of creators are coming up in a space where it's being promoted in like a beautiful light to like create this dream life of being a content creator and making, you know, money by just living your life and being you. When we were coming up, or when I was coming up in this industry as an entertainment journalist, as an on-air talent, you know, it was more or less like news, entertainment, reporting, journalism, like whether it's press, whether it's newspaper, whether it's magazine, whether it's TV, social media didn't really become prevalent in our field until like later down the line. I think that, you know, photojournalism has grown and has evolved over the years, but I feel like if social media had the presence it has now back then, I feel like we would have a different conversation. We may not be on this couch.
If you've listened to the Elevators podcast for a while, you know how important acceptance is when it comes to personal growth. And you know who else is big on acceptance? Discover. You see, Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. That's a whole lot of places and a whole lot of acceptance, which is great for Discover, but even better for you. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
You know what I mean?
No, for real. And honestly speaking, I feel like because it's still very new, we're all figuring out how to navigate it still. And low key, I don't know if the younger generation, I forget, what are they called?
Is it Y?
Y
Is
or
it-
X?
is it-
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z might got it figured out more than us because
Yeah.
they have grown up in it and like have navigated the situation in middle school and high school, and like they just navigated better. So shout out to Gen Z.
And they're not overthinking it.
And
They're
they
literally just putting it out there. I literally sit there and look at like little kids who know how to navigate YouTube and their iPads before they even can utter any words. I think it's one of those things where it just becomes second nature. Like I think pressing play and editing, even the time that you take to edit, something we edit that takes us a couple days may take them like 15 minutes or less.
Well,
and
we need to find one of those because I need help.
I just honestly think it's the way content was consumed for them versus how we consume content. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, there's like a little roadblock in like how we're going around things. I don't want to say we're like robots or anything like that, but I feel like it's not as fluid for us because it's
and
not
organic,
second nature.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think that our generation still thinks about, and we talked about this previously, but like how people perceive the content that we put on social media. So,
and you know what?
Chow, it's exhausting.
And although I like a good aesthetically pleasing and a cute put together post, the ones that are not put together, the ones that are literally abnormal, the thrown together, super obnoxious posts do really well because it's a part of vulnerability. It's a part of authenticity. It's a part of just it's just real life. And it's just things that are translating in this is what it is. This is how I'm presenting myself. And a lot of people love that and they run with it. One thing I also wanted to talk about as it relates to like social media and self-image is, have you ever experienced like self-esteem issues or like, ooh, did I strike a nerve?
No. You funny because I was sitting here caking up a question for you too. And it was along the same lines, but go ahead.
No, really?
No, go ahead.
No, seriously. I was going to ask you that. And I wonder if any of us have ever dealt with that. Just looking at social media and looking at things in people's lives and who they are, present themselves to be online. Because, you know, sometimes it may not be the reality. And have these thoughts of like, not feeling good enough.
Yeah. I feel like it's not that I felt like not good enough, but I think because of social media, I want to get my hips done. Ciao. And I still might not. But honestly, I think because
with
of
the
social
injections?
media, I don't know whatever they do. I don't even know what they do. But
What do you mean hips?
I like my hip dips. Like, I don't know my hip dips.
I got to show you a video I seen today.
I'm scared. What?
I'm going to show you. But I get what you're saying. Like when you ever see those body transformation videos
Just
and
a
all
little,
those things.
just fix my dip a little bit. Like, that ain't too crazy. And I think I feel that way because of social media.
I agree.
Because then I'll have that conversation with my boyfriend. He's like, you're insane. You, like, have body dysmorphia. And I don't, but I will get a little hip dip filler. I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, I actually want to do the same thing.
See?
I'm gonna show you a video.
But if we didn't have social media, we wouldn't think about that.
Yeah, I think it's just so prevalent that these things are in front of our faces all the time as it relates to Botox, it relates to lip filler, hip dip, plastic surgery, and the lack thereof. Like, I just think that a lot of these things are like just gaseous, I guess, if that's the word I'm looking for, or just promoted to us like at a exceeding rate that it almost makes you think like, do I need this? Like,
yeah, but even like breast augmentations, and I bring that up because it was so popular at one point, but I feel like now
I wanted it at one point.
yeah, and like me too.
Yeah.
Girl, I ain't no better than nobody else. Me too. But I feel like now we're seeing the effects of those things. Like so many women are taking out their implants because it's making them sick. So I'm like, honestly, that's what's been stopping me from like doing the whole hip dip situation, because I'm like, I don't want to see what this is gonna do in another 5, 6, 7 years to people's bodies. So and I'm a very like forward thinking person in terms of that. So like I have no tattoos. I don't have any additional piercings.
Yeah, you don't. Dang.
Because I'm like, what is it gonna look like
sense.
in 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And my mom has always like embedded that. What is that gonna look like in a couple years? So that's why I have not done my hip dips. But I wanted to do them and want to do them because of social media.
Yeah. And see, I feel the same with that. Tattoos I do have, yes. I don't regret any of them but one that I do want to get removed. Honest moment. But I actually was getting the tattoo done, and I was so not trying to focus on the pain. Because, you know, if you've gotten a tattoo, you know it's like annoying, like, pain where it just feels like somebody's pinching you and poking you, like, consistently. So I didn't want to look at it. And, like, the tattoo artist made it bigger than what I went in for and ended up shading it in and, like, doing the whole nine. So I'm like, I ended up with this tattoo that I've had for years.
Is it publicly visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's this one. It's on my arm.
Oh, okay.
So I want to get this removed. So I have this heart symbol, right, that I wanted basically a cross that's the same thing right there. And it just became way bigger than I intended. It's my dominant hand that I hold a mic in, that I write with. It's my right hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, really? So I do regret that. So I do agree with you to your point, is like sometimes we see things that we want and we get them and we didn't really need them in the first place, or we just realize, like, you know,
especially because of social media, y'all, even when it comes to the lifestyles, like, and it, like when you get them, you get there, you see the PJs, you see this, you see that, and we all know the type of content we like to consume, right? And like a lot of us like to consume the lifestyle stuff. Once you get there, it don't be what is caked up to be. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But it's not all that's important.
I agree.
It's really not. And I know it's so cliche to say, but the grass is really greener where you water it all the time.
I agree.
Especially when it comes to like what you're consuming on social media. And it's not because this person is faking it or whatever the case may be, but none of that stuff actually matters if the people in your life aren't happy, if you aren't happy, if you don't have anybody in your life to love. Like, none of that stuff matters. And I also had this conversation recently because, actually, I can't even say because why, but I had this conversation recently because it's like, I was telling my friend, and I'm like, we were at dinner, I'm like, you could be wherever you want. You could be in Turks and Caicos, you could be in Dubai, and it does not matter if you don't have good company. So what is caked up to be on social media, what it looks like, we all know this. It might not. It is probably not that. But even if it was that, that doesn't mean you gotta be like jealous or envious of that person.
Yeah.
You just gotta hustle, work a little harder.
Yeah, and I also think that there's things that you can do naturally, not cosmetically, or just things that you could do to just enhance your overall self, and that in return will obviously be also emulated in your self-image and who you show up to be. And I just think it's different things of, you know, whether it's, you know, you taking a little extra step with your skincare. Some of us, let's be honest, ladies, some of y'all don't even do your skincare. Like, some of you guys don't even do like the day-to-day things, whether it's drinking close to a gallon of water a day, whether it's going on a walk, whether it's doing the things. And I feel like we
Why
look.
is she talking about me like I'm not saying right here? Yeah, gallon of water a day.
No, but seriously, we want these things, but it's like, do the little things first. And I think that those things will naturally just happen. And then we'll look at these things like, I don't need that because I already, you know.
You know what I'll also say? I know people like to go on like a social media cleanse where they delete their social media for a long time, but I actually don't think deleting your social media is the problem. So like, if you feel like you are comparing your life to others and so on and so forth, like me, myself, like I said, I've done that, but I haven't deleted my social media because I felt like No, I need to address the root of the problem. Like, it's not what that person's posting, it's what I feel. And that's what I need to address. And I need a therapist, but that's a different conversation.
We all do. We actually need to do an episode on that.
On therapy?
I would love to
finding
talk about
a therapist
that.
and
yes, and just experiencing it.
Yeah, we need to do a couple of episodes, actually.
Let's do
we
that.
need to do an episode on therapy, finding a therapist, the right one for you, but also on self-growth. And Amanda and I both recently discovered that we fake know how to swim. And we want to do, Ray, by the way, you're included in this. We want to do like
swim
an
lessons?
episode on camera of swim lessons.
Ooh.
Because I don't know how to float.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really good episode.
That'll be hilarious.
So many women, so many black women and women of
People of color.
Y'all can
Like,
relate. We need to do
it's
better.
so important.
We need to do better. I just want to be like Beyonce, just jump in the ocean in the south of France. So I just got to get it together. But I agree with you. I don't think that you need to necessarily eliminate the social media. I think that you can also just take things within moderation, and just take control of what you consume. You don't have to consume negative content. You can always just, just reevaluate your page, unfollow some pages, whatever it is that you need to do to just make sure that you're on the up and up.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to completely cut everything off. Just get it at the root. Cut the snake off at the head.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not social media. It's you. No. But for real.
I agree. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always, we really appreciate the love and support, and we want to hear from you, whatever it is that you want us to bring to you next, topics wise. We see all of the tips and the comments and the positive things that you guys are saying. So we love it. We love you.
We appreciate you guys. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.